Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my new YouTube channel where the focus will be on personal finance. My purpose is to create educational content in order to improve your spending habits, accumulate wealth, and conduct a perfectly balanced lifestyle, as all things should be. Alright, let's go guys. Today I'm going to present you 5 books that I wish I would have read even earlier.
Books? Get out! I don't want to read. I want to make money. Now, as fast as possible.
No, you sir or lady need this information before start earning. You need fundamentals, you need qualities, life values that you might keep them here in your very head. That's how you get rich. Remember this. That is what every single wealthy person on this entire planet has learned before earning. If you clicked on this video and reached this very moment, then it means you lack such information that your neighbor, yes, might have already had. No worries, that's why I'm here. I'm going to briefly summarize 5 books that will make your mind think like the rich do. I can tell you from this moment that these concepts will blind you, will make you open your eyes and you'll ask for more. I did when I found out about those, and I still do. That's why I read every single week a new book about wealth, frugality, how to develop your own personality, psychology, markets, pretty much everything that you should know in order to make yourself and your family rich. I know that this is a very over-consumed topic, but still I want to share my opinions on these bestsellers that are doing a tremendously good job at creating and building fundamentals, principles that you need before start earning and creating the desired lifestyle for yourself and your family. I do think that these concepts and lessons and principles, guidelines, whatever you want to call them, must be assimilated by every single person who desires to live without worrying about the mortgage, living paycheck to paycheck, and wants to create a wealthy life for his, hers own sake, or for his, hers family, be it current or future. Before we start, I must confess that my family has always pushed me to read some of these books when I was really young. Okay, a kiddo, call it this way. But the truth is I had little interest to none at that moment in time. Anyway, I read the first book, which was a big cliche, but it was something revolutionary in my country. And yeah, back then I had a little interest into personal finances, to be honest. And I simply ignored my parents, I guess. Parents are always right. That's it. They are right. Sooner or later, that's the truth. That's what they eventually make you say. Nevertheless, I have only one humble request. If you want to support my mission, please subscribe and wait for it. Smash the like button. This way you let me know I have your approval stamp in order to keep going with such videos. And I would tremendously appreciate if you take some of your time to follow me. Well, Charles talks about 2 key concepts: control and meaning. Alright, let's go guys. Today I'm going to present you 5 books that I wish I would have read even earlier. Book number 5, Smarter, Faster, Better by Charles Duhigg. Now I have here the version in my mother tongue, but I definitely recommend the English version of it because it makes more sense. It's more accurate in terms of words and expressions used. This is a book about productivity. And now Charles Duhigg, who's actually a Pulitzer Prize winner, and this book is a bestseller, a New York Times bestseller, tries to teach us how to become productive human beings. And Duhigg talks about 5 steps basically that need to be respected in order to get there. First, motivation. Charles discusses about 2 key concepts when it comes to motivation, and those are control and meaning. Charles advises us to get in control of our actions. So, for instance, when a friend invites you out to have a coffee together, you have to reply, for instance, "All right, I can do that, but I have to leave in 20 minutes. So that's a phrase that might put you in charge, let's say. So you can control your actions, even though they were started by another person. Now, when we talk about meaning, an action must reply to an why. You want to have an objective, you want to do something today. Then you have to simply write down an answer, multiple answers to the very basic question, why? Why do you want to do that? If you find compelling reasons for your envisaged action, all right, you can go for it. Then you'll suddenly and instantly become productive towards that direction. The second step. Now, Charles discusses the concept of focus. What does he actually mean by that? Well, Charles says that focus is going like this. You wake up, you imagine how your day will go, and you keep doing how you envisaged that day. Everything that comes and is outside of your initial picturing should just be untouched by you. This way you will focus totally on your tasks, your daily projects. You have to be constant and go on with your missions. The first step, set a goal. Well, now when we talk about goal setting, the best approach is to follow the SMART objective strategy. That means that an objective must be small, measurable, achievable, realistic, but here I would add my own note, and it should be reasonable. Don't forget it, guys. Reasonable. And have a timeline. So you have to make a realistic, small, something that you can see and achieve during a period of time. Let's have an example. You're 30. You want to buy your first apartment or house. That's a small objective, to buy a house at 30. It's reasonable, it's expectable. Then you have to measure that. It's 1. Perfectly fine till now. Then achievable. How do you achieve that? Well, you either go to pay with cash on hand, but I don't advise that at all, because you would block a large amount of your net worth into one house, which is going to be into the passive category, and it's highly illiquid. So I would opt for the traditional way to own a house, and that's just go for a bank. Negotiate your deal, get a mortgage loan, and that's it. That's how you achieve it. Now, realistic. It's not a high threshold here. It's realistic and reasonable. One, you don't want to buy a mansion, you don't want to buy a hotel or something. It's just one house for personal use. And now, timeline. How long? Maybe it's a year, maybe half a year, 2 years, all right, 3 years, let's have it 5 years. But then you have to set a strategy, how you're going to save money for the initial payment to your mortgage loan. And this is how you make a smart objective to work, and this is how you are triggering and developing a productive behavior. The fourth step, this fluency. This is really well translated with the simple fact that you have to write down. Just making something that challenges you, it will make you more productive. It's like you have, for instance, an exam, or you have a meeting online. It's easier to type that on your laptop, right? But you don't remember much of it, to be honest. You have to challenge your brain. So for that, you simply write down. Handwriting is the key. That's how you challenge yourself. Instead of going by car somewhere, you ride by bike. So just make it as hard as possible in reasonable terms. And the fifth step is choice. Just choose your objective and your mission, your project. You have to feel like you're in control. You have free will. You're not just manipulated by destiny or something. You choose to do what you want. That will make you be in control, have a meaning, and achieve that purpose that you have. After reading this book, you will remember one thing for your whole life. You can't. You really can't do so many things at the same time. It's better to work on fewer things or only one thing at a time. Only this way you will achieve the results you want. You will get productivity and you will achieve your mission, your life purpose this way. Book number 4, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley. This is another fantastic book about wealth and frugality. The reason I put this only on the fourth place, is just because the research was conducted for a lengthy period of time, but in the past century. So some things might have changed. They certainly did. However, Stanley teaches his readers about the frugal habits that US millionaires have and how one person around the world can achieve the goal to become rich and wealthy. But here's the trick. He also explains the difference between being rich and being wealthy. And the goal, at least for me personally, is to be wealthy. And that is highly dependent on your habits, on your spending habits. Now, most of millionaires are frugal persons. That means that they know how much they need to live. They know, they budget everything. That's the key to everything. They know how much they need to survive, to have those basic needs. Fulfilled. Those basic needs fulfilled. In plus, the author explains the difference between rich and wealthy people, high income and wealth, and prodigious accumulators of wealth, and UAW, which are the opposite. People who fall under the category of PAW, prodigious accumulators of wealth, are human beings that live and follow really frugal values in life. They have low spending habits. They live below their means. And most important, they know the power of budgeting. We have to remember that not our salary, a high income, doesn't make us rich or even healthy wealthy. It's actually your spending habits. So let's say you earn 100k per year. After taxes, it depends on your jurisdiction. You are going to remain with, let's say, 70k. You might even remain with $48,000 or euros, especially euros if you live, for instance, in Finland or Sweden, where the state kind of hijacks you, but at least you have everything for free: education, health, public transport. And actually, I don't think they have public transport for free, but now Luxembourg has it for free. Unfortunately, the current situation doesn't help them to use that service at all, let's say. All right, let's go on. You remain with 70k after taxes. Let's take this example. Your spending habits are translated as $5,000, let's say, or euros. Let's go with euros for the sake of more the union I live in. 70k. You have 5k a month. You need 60,000 euros for a year just to live, and you remain with 10,000 euros. What are you going to do that? Go on vacation? Alright, good for you. Invest? Even better. Buy a car? You might need it. Develop a business? Congrats. Whatever you want to do, you have, despite of your high income, it's quite high, let's be honest, 100,000 in any currency, not any currency, any strong currency. Despite of that high income, you only have 10,000 euros left. So what you're going to do with 10,000? Do you think that makes you rich or wealthy? Guys, you really have to read this one. It's a must-have, it's timeless. I would have placed it on the second place only if it would have been written more recently. However, it's timeless. It's absolutely a good lecture that will put you insanely ahead of your friends, family, competitors, whatever. You need to learn how to be frugal to budget. This book, this very book, will teach you the power of budgeting and how spending habits actually make you rich and wealthy, at least wealthy, if not rich. But it will certainly make you rich as well, with time. Just give it time. And this book will teach you other key concepts such as the power of the like button, so smash that like button right now. Please smash the like button because it 100% helps the algorithm, and this way I can be sure that you appreciate my effort. Again, it took me around 20 hours now to make this video, so it would mean tremendously a lot. It would mean a lot. Just please hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. 3. Rich Dad Poor by Robert T. Kiyosaki. It's a cliche, but it helps. It's just one of those very basic books that must be read during a lifetime. I wouldn't develop much on this book because everybody heard about Kiyosaki's work. So I'll say that it's just a story, a fiction of the author that discusses about a story where a boy has two dads. The biological one, who's the poor dad, and the mentor, who's the rich dad. He just learns about assets and liabilities. And this is what he teaches us, or wants to teach us. It's nothing very valuable, but it's a beginner's handbook. Educate yourself financially. Build wealth through investments in stocks, bonds, or any other investments, such as rental properties or peer-to-peer lending, whatever, just to be an asset. Again, he talks about smart objectives, set realistic goals. Adopt the mindset, work to learn instead of work to earn. Besides these lessons, Kiyosaki advises us to develop certain values in our mind and lifestyle. So, for instance, you have to learn how to manage risk. It's riskier to not take the risk sometimes. For instance, with cryptocurrency. Now, because I'm a crypto investor, I tend to say to my friends and family or supporters or colleagues, it's riskier to not own Bitcoin right now and even before 2019 because it's rising, guys. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. Right now with Elon Musk, who put Bitcoin on his balance sheet. For instance, now Apple and MasterCard are considering the option to adopt some Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not sure about Ethereum actually, that they will do that, but Bitcoin is definitely there in their near future financial planning. Then you could create an I want list and an I don't want list. For instance, I want to retire at 35 years old. I actually want that. I wouldn't do that, but I would like having that opportunity to just stay on the side for 1 year to have a sabbatical, and that's it. And then I don't want list, for instance, with I don't want to end up broke like my brother, cousin, uncle, dog, neighbor, whatever. You just compare somebody, your grandpa, whatever. You have that figure in your mind and you know. But remember, you don't have to compare with somebody else. You have to compare with yourself. It's a hard lesson that everybody has to learn. It took me some time, but it definitely pays off. And it helps you being productive and have a healthy mindset. Mentality is everything. You don't have a healthy, clean mentality, you cannot overcome your difficulties. You have to do that as soon as possible. ASAP, guys, ASAP. Pay yourself first. You don't go to pay your bills, you don't fuel the tank first. You invest in yourself. Investments. Another thing that Kiyosaki stresses is the difference between assets on the one hand and liabilities on the other hand. Assets are things such as stocks, bonds, real estate that you rent out. Any single investment that puts you money in your pocket every single day and month and increases in value over time. On the other hand, we have liabilities such as the house where you live, from where you watch this very video right now. That's one of your biggest liabilities because it doesn't produce anything. You just pay utilities, a mortgage maybe on it, and you keep paying to live there. Tax properties, anything. The car you own, that's another liability, you just use it. It costs you gas, it costs you car taxes, and basically everything that takes you money in order to be used by yourself is a liability. That's the category. So you really have to invest in more assets in order to achieve wealth. Liabilities must be less than 20% of your net worth. Liabilities must be good liabilities, first of all. Debt is another liability, and here it depends on the kind of debt. It might be good debt or bad debt. Bad debt is that one such as consumer debt. You take money to buy a TV or a PS5. No, you shouldn't do that. Now, good debt is that one that you take in order to buy real estate that you're going to rent out, or buy shares that you're certainly convinced that they are going to surge. Just learn it. Just learn the difference. Another thing, very important. Start your own business. A side hustle. Anything. You need an additional source of income. Your wage, salary, call it anyway, is not enough, unfortunately. You have to get multiple sources of income in order to get wealthier. Your spending habits and your expenses should be less than 10%. That's a financial goal you should have. I have that. I have that financial goal in my mind. I couldn't achieve it yet, Sorry for that, but I'm working towards it. I'm at around 37% expenses. And finally, start today. Remember, your biggest asset ever, forever, is yourself. So start investing, pumping money into yourself, because sooner or later you realize you're the only one thing that will be with you your whole life. So invest into yourself in order to develop high income skills and have fundamental values which raise intrinsic value in your own person. Just be your own man or woman. I don't know your gender, so go get it, girl. This is a book that my father recommended, and I had little interest into personal finance at that time, but I'm tremendously thankful for that. So thanks that. Nevertheless, I felt a bit heartbroken when I found out that the story just made up. But that's it. Some things cannot be true, but they are still good in value. So just take the essence out of it. Although Robert's Too Dead story is made up, the financial advice is certainly sound. Invest in assets and avoid liabilities. And develop a wealthy mindset. Earn, learn. Those are two words that come hand in hand. So, you have to work to learn, not to earn. Just learn. Do something that you love and learn more. Once you get there, you're going to earn even more because you're doing that out of passion. Book number 2, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. The Intelligent Investor explains value investing, which is focused on generating steady long-term profits by ignoring the current market and picking up companies with intrinsic value. Now, that might sound like rocket science for some of those watching right now, but don't worry, it's not. In fact, The Intelligent Investor is a book written for lay people, so nothing really hard to understand. And the best part is that it has no prerequisites at all. You don't have to know anything about personal finance in order to read it. So just get it and read it, cover to cover. The book is developed around the intrinsic value concept. So, what the author does is to introduce Mr. Market, a fictional character who is quite irrational. And for instance, imagine you're an investor. You're going to invest 100 bucks in Tesla, let's say, just for the sake of the exercise. Now, you have 100 bucks worth of Tesla stock. The fictional character, Mr. Market, comes at your door and every single day knocks at your door. Knock, knock. Who's there? Mr. Market. Do you want to know something funny? Yeah, why not? Sure. Tesla is worth 100 bucks. Alright, it's the same value. Next day, Mr. Market comes at your door and the scenario plays on. Knock, knock. Who's there? Mr. Market. What do you want? Do you want to know something funny? Yes. Your Tesla stock is now 800 bucks. Oh, great. It just went 8x. Great. It's just what Tesla does. Okay, the third day, Mr. Market comes again. Knock knock, who's there? Mr. Market, what do you want now? Do you want to know something funny? The stock is $50. Wait, what? And the story goes on for 365 days. Well, what you're going to do when you're going to hear that your Tesla stock is maybe $1 and you invested $100 in that? You might want to sell it, maybe to recover at least $1. And what the book says is that you just have to ignore Mr. Market. You don't care about that. You just put your money and wait. Basically, what this book teaches is that wait for it. Timing the market beats timing the market. You're going to be better off just investing any amount of money, forgetting about your investments, and open your account 1, 2, 5 years after that. Obviously, no rational human being is going to do that, but at least you don't have to touch that investment. You just let it play in the market. And you're going to earn value. You're going to see your investments going up and up over time, because there's a power of compound interest, especially if your stock is giving you dividends quarterly, monthly, yearly. But it doesn't matter. You just ignore Mr. Market and keep investing constantly X amount of money every single month before paying your bills. This is how you're going to be classified by Graham as an intelligent investor. You want to be an intelligent investor or not? Then do as the author says, not as I say. No financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube who's doing funny videos. So I'm not a tax advisor, as I said in the beginning. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax lawyer. Just do yourself. You know how people say, you do you, I do me. I personally do that. I invest every single month. I'm not going to say the sum, but it's quite a decent amount for my age. And I just forget about my investments in both stocks and cryptos. Because if you are going to play with your money, you're going to get wrecked, especially in highly volatile markets, such as cryptocurrency. To be honest, it's a dangerous place. You got to be a bit crazy to be there. That's what I tell myself every single day. But fortunately for me, I have that risk management developed. And another feature that I possess is that I'm a bit cuckoo when it comes to cryptocurrency. It's just here to stay. I'm a really big bull in cryptocurrency. I don't care about what people say. I am a bull. Well, I'm a Cancer, but when it comes to cryptocurrency, again, I'm bullish. Now to resume our discussion about the intelligent investor, we will have to remember the following 3 principles that Graham stresses. Analyze your companies that you're going to invest into for the long term. Remember, long term. Protect yourself from losses and don't go for crazy profits. I have to say that Benjamin Graham would have been the best investor of the 20th century if it wasn't for his student Warren Buffett, the best ever investor, especially of the 21st century. Since I mentioned him, I have to stress that Buffett has two rules. Rule number one, never lose money. Rule number two, never forget rule number one. So just don't lose money. That's exactly what intelligent investing is. The truth is that no one can predict the next Facebook, Tesla, Shopify, Amazon, or whatever company you like. But you can protect yourself against losses. Finally, from this book, you have to remember two valuable lessons. First, the dollar cost averaging. What that means is that you have to set a strict amount of money that you're going to invest constantly every month without even caring about those money. You just put 10, 20, 30, 50% of your income directly into your investments, and you can diversify that, but that's the subject of another discussion. No matter the price, you just invest constantly, and timing the market will beat timing the market. In 15-20 years, you are going to be definitely better off. For instance, 15% of my income goes every single month on autopilot directly into investments. What I usually do is to buy stocks that I already own or buy cryptocurrencies. Sometimes I like to diversify and invest into new companies that I find really interesting. But just remember, you really have to do your own analysis before investing into something. You cannot invest into something that you do not understand. Some pieces of advice that I can give you, and I experienced on my own skin, is to never FOMO buy and do not invest with emotions. Just set them aside. Emotions and investments are opposites. So just don't. Trust me. And the other one is the following formula that Graham developed. It's called the net stock formula, and this one actually made Warren Buffett both rich and wealthy. In order to qualify a company as a net stock, you have to apply the following formula. So if a stock is traded at less than 2/3 of the difference between current assets and total liabilities, all of these divided by the total number of shares, you have to buy it because it has much more intrinsic value left than the extrinsic value that is reflected on the stock price on market right now. It means that even though it's close and it actually undergoes bankruptcy, it has enough value in order to buy it. It can really well perform in the medium term, and you can gain out of that deal. You have to buy that, hold it for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and then sell it, declare your profits at the tax authorities, and just be happy you did it. You're an investor, such as Warren Buffett. Remember, this is called the cigar butt strategy. The name is given by Buffett, and it made him both rich and wealthy. The downside of this strategy is actually that you cannot do that with big money. You can do that with small and medium sums, but never with big money. That's what Charlie Munger told Warren Buffett, and he was right. And Buffett usually remembers people that the cigar butt strategy is something really well to be done in your 20s, in your 30s, even 40s, but you cannot do that with big money. Another downside is that it's quite rare to find such stocks nowadays with screeners such as Yahoo Finances. In the back old days, they didn't have such screeners, and they had only the pink sheets. So every trader used to go on these sheets and check for companies manually. So you can't do that today. However, I was lucky enough to find 2 companies last year, and I gained around 200 percentages, even more than 200 percentages, but somewhere there. The truth is, you can do that. I know people who do that, but it's hard. It's a waste of time nowadays. It's better off, you're going to be better off just investing into companies constantly every single month and on long term. Just focus on the long term. You don't have to beat the market. You have to be in the market for a long run, like a marathon. Oh my god, we finally got to the best of the best books ever. I just love this book. It totally changed my mind. You have to read this one. It's another must-have. It's a must have. Book number 1, and wait for it. Still wait. Alright. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Before of that, I want to remember you how to subscribe and smash the like button. You just go on the subscribe button, hit it, 1 second, it doesn't take much time, and smash, destroy the like button. Please do it, because it tremendously helps the algorithm and gives me your support. I mean, it means so much for me to have your like, because I know that I can go on with such videos. And if you want to see more of this, just hit the like button. It just takes 1 second, and I'm going to be forever thankful for it. So please, thank you. Alright, so this book, it's a life changer. It helped me to change my mindset and see the intrinsic value of networking. Yes, you heard me well. Networking is way too important to be ignored and overlooked. Guys, I have to remember you that your network is actually your true value and net worth. The people around you are your true net worth, your true value. They are the people that can vouch for you and add value in society for your own person. Take care to build a team surrounding you that can help you achieve your goals and dreams. The people you associate with tell more about you than you might think, because it's another way to express the 5 people you spend the most time with rule. This is translated as you're the average of the 5% you spend the most time with. In this way, anybody can understand your interests, your passion, your motivation, and what you're usually doing. In essence, one can extract 10 main ideas from Carnegie's book. 1. Give people a fine reputation to live up to. The second rule, encourage people to talk about themselves. 3. Become genuinely interested into other people. 4. Don't resist people. Just agree first. He's going to comply easier with your terms. 5. Appeal to nobler motives, such as fairness, equality. 6. Talk in lay terms, words that the other one can understand. That's one of the many reasons I tend to talk really slowly in order to let the other person to understand me, and don't ask twice. 7. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. So you can't fake it. This is one place where the rule fake it till you make it cannot save you, unfortunately. 8. Ask questions instead of giving orders, because it firstly saves their pride and puts them in charge. They feel important by answering to the difficulty they face. So just don't go into a room and boss your people. People are more likely to follow through something if they had put some effort, a hand of help in that conception of that thing. 9. Use encouragement, and this way you're going to make the other person feel that their deficiencies are easy to correct. This is one of my favorite advices from this book, because it helped me to create a more stable and more easygoing relationship with my colleagues. It's easier to say, hey, you have a good look for design, or hey, thank you for your help and your work. Just say easy compliments, and the other person is going to be more open to your suggestions and your critiques maybe. The last one is one of the most important lessons in life that you must possess, and the best advice maybe from this book, and that is, you must like people first in order to make them like you. Just be genuine, just be you. You don't have to copy anyone. You have to be yourself, like the other person, and support him. If you're going to do that, you're going to win him, lead him, and influence him. Now, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Till the next time.